we do have a nice episode. We're going to discuss a few games that we've taken interest in recently. One indie game, one portion of a already fairly popular game, in my opinion. It should get a lot more love than it has.
Yeah.
It deserves it, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, in the near future, it'll get what it deserves, which is a lot more attention from its creator. Which um, we have a few things we definitely want to let you guys know about, and hopefully we can convince you to check it out for yourselves. So up first, I know the indie game that was mentioned. Uh, a personal favorite of mine whenever you have some friends over or you're trying to just have entertainment for a group. Uh, we all have that extra controller that's just kind of collecting dust sitting around, you know.
The Zelda controller.
Yeah, of
The Darth
course.
Vader controller.
Yeah, we all got one of those just laying around. And every now and again, it's nice to have a game to dust that thing off and put it to use, create some laughs. And I honestly believe that Gang Beasts is probably one of the best possible games to play with friends to do that kind of thing.
It was so funny. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, that was your first time playing it, right?
Yeah, and it was just two people. And
And
I
it
was
was
having
great.
a blast.
I mean, I've even like played it by myself a few times since I got it, just to see what it was. And I remember thinking like this is a really good time, but like the playing it with your friends, the reactions and laughs,
It's all
and
about the reactions,
and
yeah.
it's also the emotions are so raw because like you everything is so organic and
And it happened so fast.
it happens. It's such fast-paced hilarity,
And you can tell it's simulation instead of
Yeah.
animation style.
Right, yeah.
Simulation's always more fun because you
Oh,
just never know
it's-
what's going to happen
it's
next.
so
And
great.
it's so smooth, too.
Oh,
and
it's so
natural.
great. I mean, there's nothing like having your character be thrown in front of the A train by a character 3 times its size who punched it behind its back
Yeah.
with the force of God.
Those
There's-
Goliaths, man, they'll just like one little backhand and you just fly to Albuquerque.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
man,
done.
You take
That
a wrong
hurt.
turn in Albuquerque. It's really easy to do in that game too if you don't position yourself well. Or in our case, if you're not really too sure how to best deal with different sized enemies.
Yep.
The big guys, I'm not sure if it's a better idea to just jump on their face and just start going at them like that, or if it's
The problem with them, they'll just rip you off and throw you like
Exactly.
20 feet. Or if you go low, they're just going to like reach down, do a
Yeah.
little swing or a kick, and then you're just flying
they'll just
20
give you like a
feet.
straight jab that sends you
Ugh.
across the map, knocks you into a billboard.
Straight KO for like
Yeah.
7 seconds.
Yeah, and that's
so
all the
rough.
time they need.
Yeah.
The little ones are so fast and hard to hit. You have to like grab them and pick them up, then beat on them.
I know.
It's such a fun game, and like we haven't even tried the multiplayer yet, like online versus actual people. That's a lot of fun. There's
That'd probably be chaotic.
a bunch of different maps. They're all so much fun. They're all maps that are semi-destructible for the most part.
Oh, cool.
Like we witnessed on the rooftop level for the waves mode, which is like horde mode almost. Waves of enemies come and you have to knock them all out, throw them off the arena.
Yeah.
We witnessed one of the big guys we were just talking about sent me flying into a billboard, and that fell over, and I flew off the rooftop
Oh.
with it. Like there's like glass that breaks, they can fall through a skylight, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can bust up windows.
yeah.
Things like that.
There's a pier level, where it's PvP, and there's actually like the carousel that like goes
The
around.
conveyor belt.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like
there's
the that was a terrible one in the
the Ferris
incinerator.
wheel. That's what I was looking for. There's a
Okay.
Ferris wheel, and then there's also an elevator level.
Oh Lord.
There's an elevator level where there's 2 elevators that go up and down at different, and then you could actually climb up on top of the elevator and snap the cable, and then have whoever's in it fall.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a very fun, good time for anybody involved. Uh,
It's like being in control of Gru's minions.
exactly. Yeah,
That's what
it's
they looked like.
basically just a bunch of different, colorful minions beating each other up ruthlessly. But it's all in good fun. Oh, so that's our indie game recommendation. Absolutely be sure to check that out because it is such a good time. You and your friends will not regret that. And it's cheap. It's really not that expensive. It's on sale fairly often too, so you can even get it for cheaper. Um,
It's the battle royale that you didn't know you needed. So
yeah.
if you're tired of like Fortnite or PUBG or anything,
Or
try
if you
this one
just
out.
want to settle it like a gentleman with fisticuffs,
Yeah, take
you
it
know.
outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Civilized.
Or to the rooftop or the train
The
station.
incinerator, all
Yeah,
those
the
normal places that
incinerator.
people go to have a good pounding.
Yeah, the meat grinder, everything like that, And then that weird, mysterious bubblegum like liquid. There's also one that has like a kraken that actually like reaches out of its tank and it can grab you and pull you in. It's interesting. Uh, so yeah, definitely check that one out. And the other game I personally would like to talk about, or I know you have one you wanted to talk about.
I
And then
actually bought The
yeah.
Rise of Skywalker yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So I got probably about 7 hours with it already.
Ooh.
So my impressions of that one, it's very interesting because I played The Phantom Menace just to be as first as possible. I don't really care about the order of the movies when it comes to video games, but I played the complete saga before, and I feel like the story mode had way more beef in the older games than it did in the newer one. The new one felt like a Cliff's Notes version of someone giving a PowerPoint about the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like the actual story because so much of the plot and so many of the important points in the
The
dialogue were removed.
the old ones were basically just an interactive Lego version of the movies.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them, I think they actually had a better theme with the grunting, right? Like when they used to have like no voices, no
Oh
dialogue, it
boy,
was just the grunts. Like,
I just heard the Yoda death sound in my head for Lego Star Wars.
I love it. It's amazing. But yeah, it's the story is lacking. I actually got through the first one so quickly. So I think that the strength of this game is probably going to be more in the open world that they have where you collect ships basically,
Yeah.
and you can upgrade ships and you can make them stronger and whatnot. You can purchase more things for them. And then you can use those ships to get around the free open world once you unlock everything by finishing all the story modes for all 9 movies.
Okay.
It opens up the entire map, and then also got DLC, so that opened up some more map. So I think
Okay.
that that's what they're really aiming for.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they slapped the story modes on as an afterthought. Like, oh
Probably.
yeah, I mean, if they're playing through the Phantom Menace, they're gonna want to hear some lines from it.
Yeah, they probably focus, and I mean I've seen some gameplay, um, around on media and whatnot. The trailer of the game before it was released. I think they focused a lot more on the like production value of it in the graphics and the animation style, and I think they focused big time on the comedic value of the characters
Definitely.
a little more. It's become like Lego movies were always a little silly, you know what I mean? But I think over time they've become more and more about like the memes and
The
like the
jokes.
the jokes and
Yeah, pretty much every line from the Phantom Menace story was a joke, or it was making fun of the story, like the story point.
yeah.
Because there were so many points in that movie where it was serious, and they even made Qui-Gon's death a joke. Spoilers out there, but for this, but when at the end of the Phantom Menace, when Darth Maul kills Liam Neeson's character Qui-Gon, it was pretty dramatic. It wasn't played
It was
as
a
a
very
joke in the
sad
movie.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then later on, well, not later on, but in the video game, the Lego game, it's a joke. So they kill Darth Maul. They cut him in half, and then they start celebrating together, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. And then Qui-Gon gets stabbed by the torso waddling around of Darth Maul.
Oh,
So then Obi-Wan cuts his head off, and then the head grabs the lightsaber in its teeth and tries to kill him more, so he kicks it down into the shaft. That's what they made out of
so
Qui-Gon's death in the Lego version in the Skywalker Saga video game.
interesting. So they not only changed the sequence of events in that fight.
Yeah.
Because he didn't cut Darth Maul in half until after he stabbed Qui-Gon.
Yeah, I will say that the boss battle against Maul was fun
Yeah.
because you really had to learn how to use combos to your advantage. You also had to learn the timing of the blocking and the attacking. And he has this attack that really can't be blocked very well, even if you're holding on the block button. So those are pretty cool to avoid. So if you timed it right, you can avoid it and not get hit. But yeah, the boss battle was more fun. There was actually some actual engagement between their lightsabers, and there was a rhythm and a logic to it. Instead of the old Lego games where you basically just swung at each other,
Yeah.
you just swung
Nobody ever
madly.
blocked the old Lego games.
You didn't know
Unless
who
you were
won or lost.
deflecting bullets. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know who won or lost until one of you ended up in pieces on the ground. And the studs were popping around. But with this one, you have health bars instead of those 4 hearts.
Oh.
So, and you can recover health too without needing to get those
Without
hearts.
picking up hearts?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Picking up hearts makes it faster though,
So they're
but it will reload if
they're
you're not
trying
dead.
to revolutionize Lego games, is what I'm hearing. They're trying to implement combat quick time things like, oh, you have to dodge here or parry this
With
or
the vehicles
block
too.
this, or
It's no longer senseless flying. There's very specific buttons and commands and rules. And you actually have the opportunity to do important things and meaningful things in vehicles.
huh.
So I got to drive the submarine they took
Yeah.
when they were avoiding the sea monsters, and I would have to shoot torpedoes back at them, but also avoid their charge hits.
Huh.
So that was fun. And then I flew Anakin's ship when he blew up the Trade Federation ship, and it actually was engaging. It was fun. Most flying battles in video games suck. Like you're fighting between 2 nunchucks,
Yeah.
and you're trying to hit all the right buttons, and so your hand has to shift, and then every time your hand shifts, you just kind of sit mid-flight and stop because you're not doing it. I'm like, flying and I suck at flying. If there's one thing in video games I suck at, but finally this one I was able to use because you just hold on A to speed up, and then a couple other buttons like triggers and were the weapons. It was really easy.
Yeah, the only game that I'm really decent at racing in is Grand Theft Auto. I'm actually not bad at all at the races in that game, but I haven't touched Grand Theft Auto forever. I played way too much Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, it's been out for so long, and they've added some things over time, but it just everything they added kind of felt like it should have been there anyway. And it feels like the same game no matter what now. I find it hard to believe that they still have a regular playing audience for the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been so long since it's been out now, and only rumors of the 6th installment are a thing.
Yeah, there's been a lot of blowback on the 6th one that I'm hearing.
See,
people don't know what they're gonna get from it. They don't want just microtransactions. But the pod race in the game is fun too.
Yeah.
Like if you're talking about races, I actually lost the first time. It wasn't just another easy Lego race. It was pretty challenging.
Huh.
So that you would have fun with that one, I think,
Yeah.
especially with the PS5.
Okay. Yeah, no, I could tell you what, finally securing a PS5, which was probably the biggest challenge of a while that I've had for anything, was so worth it. I mean, it runs great. It plays all the games that I used to play on the 4, like constantly and everything like that. In some cases they just run better, or
it does look great,
visuals wise, it just looks great. A lot of games still have a free upgrade to the PS5 version. Other games, it's like $10 to upgrade, which I haven't paid for really any of them. Um, because if I bought them at full price, I'm not gonna want to.
Yeah, pay
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Um, but yeah, one game on the five that's really good,
What's that one?
and I know we were just talking about Grand Theft Auto, but kind of in the same branch of that. So, I was just mentioning about how Grand Theft Auto has gotten way too much attention over the years, which that's their cash cow. You know what I mean? Like that's everybody loves the Grand Theft Auto games. I love the games. It's just I'm getting burnt out on, they're milking five
Yeah.
as much as they can. You know, it's almost like Rockstar doesn't want to produce another game because they know that they could still get money from five.
Did they also make did that Western game?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
They did make those?
And that is exactly where I'm taking this. Now, Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably one of my all-time favorite games now.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic story mode, which, I would love to review it this week, but I think I'm gonna replay through the story before I do so.
Yeah, maybe
Because
that
I
could
want to
be
be
the
able
next
to
one.
give a better, like more thorough, more detailed review because I just am in love with this game and I want to give it what it deserves, and that's my full attention. And so, what I will talk about is the lack of attention the online has gotten since it's been released. I mean, they've done well adding a few updates here and there that made things a little bit more easy to access certain parts of online.
Yeah.
Like at the start there was just kind of like, oh, you can't really play a specific mode for online PvP or whatever, but you could pick a playlist and it would like start you on like, oh, you know, you could randomly load into a game that's like, oh, it's like a death match and everybody starts with throwing knives. And if you get hit with the throwing knife, it's death and you're out. You only have one life and it's like last man standing type thing.
Yeah.
Or there's another one with a bow and arrow that's the same premise. I would love to get back into this game and convince some of my buddies to hop on there with me and play through some missions. Even just messing around in the free open world, it's so much fun. You don't even have to do missions really to make money. You can hunt animals, and like the better methods you use to hunt them, the more their like pelts and whatnot are worth.
The
Then you could,
Fallout had something similar, didn't it? Like
yeah,
they would
yeah,
have these
yeah.
online separate areas where you could do like battle royales and free for alls and stuff, and try to just upgrade yourself and
Yeah.
upgrade weapons and get nastier at it, basically.
Yeah, and there's a mode that they did add, which it's kind of like a waves mode, right? And there's 10 waves, and there's a good selection of places you could do it at, and I believe it's called Call to Arms. Yeah, and you and two others. I think it's just a three-person team can do this mode and you have to survive all 10 waves. And if you do, you get a pretty decent payout, which is hard to find in the game. The economy is a little busted, as all Rockstar games are. I mean, Grand Theft Auto, it's like 5 grand for a T-shirt that has like a polar bear on it. You know what I mean? Or the polar bear has a top hat. I'm pretty sure that's what sells it. But
That'll do it.
um, in Red Dead, it's way back in the West. Currency didn't quite inflate to the point where it is. Um,
You didn't need
but
too
still,
much to get by. Yeah.
no, but still, like jobs, you would get like 70 cents, and then an apple would cost like $1.25. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's insane because things would still cost ridiculously high, but you wouldn't get paid
Of course. Why not?
enough.
Yeah.
So you would have to grind out free roam jobs or whatever, or
Or
online
steal
matches.
from people, right?
Um, uh,
Could you ever steal money or anything like that? Like bank robberies or
you can't,
highwayman heists?
as it kind of goes on, you can interrupt a person's free roam mission, they if they have like a moonshine shack and they're taking like a cart of moonshine to be sold, I'm pretty sure you can
Okay.
interrupt their mission and like screw them over. Uh
So you have to
I
work
don't know the payoff
daily,
for
make
that. Pretty
enough.
much you have to really put in the time and effort to make money that's worth it.
That's wild.
And I'm hoping that they will fix the economy in some way, shape, or form.
There's no way a real apple was an actual $1.25 at that time. An apple would be
No.
like a nickel.
Well,
It was a
again,
nickel in 1920s.
referring
So
back to the Grand Theft Auto, I mean, it currency in the Grand Theft Auto world inflated to the point where a T-shirt's 5 grand. You know what I mean? It's um, but I mean, I love the game so much. It's so much fun, and there's so many like little nooks and crannies in the game that you don't, just notice unless you're looking for them. Looking at everybody else running around with these like perfectly sculpted like Johnny Depp looking
like
characters,
modded
and
face.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
using mods.
yeah. Basically, it's like, oh, was that somebody made Ryan Reynolds? You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, oh,
Don't have a good day. Have a
um,
great day.
that's right. So I made sure to capitalize on that. There's so much to do in online,
Yeah.
and I mean they're trying their best every now and again to appease the audience because those of us who do love the game and want it to reach where it can and everything,
It throws a bone, right?
yeah,
Give us something.
they try. I think. I mean, they're starting to run out. They have to be running out of ideas for Grand Theft Auto because
Oh,
every
definitely.
time I look on like my PlayStation like highlights, like the For You thing for news
Yeah.
everything. It's always like, oh, Grand Theft Auto 5, triple money in RP for these kinds of like playlists and stuff like that. And they are kind of doing stuff like that for Red Dead. There's like, oh, this double money event is going on in this playlist, and then they also have a thing, and I think they're trying to make up for the whole lack of attention because they also have like an offers and rewards tab where every now and again you'll get like a coupon in game that it's like, oh, one free pair of gloves that qualify for this, or like, oh, a free shotgun, or like something like that.
Nice.
It's like
I'll take one.
they'll do something, and
But nothing
they
big enough to really draw people in.
yeah,
I mean,
nothing big
even look
enough.
at other games that have a similar format, like
They did.
Fortnite. For all the people who hate it, and me included, I don't really enjoy it that much. But there's a lot of people that love it, a lot that hate it. But nobody can deny that they bring in franchises.
Yeah,
They
and
get
I mean,
Marvel, they get DC, they get Star Wars, they get.
I
I mean, hell, they even got Doctor Who in there at one point. They have
I
all sorts of
do
stuff.
hate to admit it, but I do play it. I mean, I do play Fortnite mainly
There's no shame in it. It's just
now just
I lost
because
my enjoyment after the building took off.
uh then you can still play with building.
No, I mean like I lost my enjoyment of the game when they started building,
Oh,
and when
well,
people spammed it
I
and learned
mean,
how to just
if it
ruin
makes
the
you feel any
game.
better, the reason why I'm back into it is because there is a zero building mode now.
Is that permanent or
Yeah, it's
semi-permanent?
there. It's there. You could just select it.
That redeems the game.
That's
That
literally
redeems
all
the
I play
game.
now. Because here's the thing: if you have, and I know there are people who are like, will defend the building to their death if they have to, and that's fine. You can play what you want to play. Yeah, that's what you enjoy, and that's what everybody should support. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, do what you want to do if that's the mode you prefer. But me, it does get a little tiring whenever you know I pop a shot at somebody because they're standing out in the open, you know, like they put their controller down or something like that, and then they try to return fire and miss a whole clip on me, so they build an entire mansion on top of themselves. And if you don't have a rocket launcher or some kind of like grapple gun or anything like that to get up on top or like firefly jars to burn it down,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do about it because if you destroy the walls, they could just keep placing them back. And for some reason, everybody but, you know, everybody but you always has so many more building materials. And they always just never seem to run out. And it's amazing that that's always the case. So I personally will never go back to build mode. They do have some fun little community event things, like there's like little like zombie survival modes or haunted house events, or there's even concerts. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, didn't Travis Scott do one?
yeah, he did.
He did a
He
live
did. There
thing
was
with
a whole Travis
Fortnite.
Scott event.
So if
Yeah.
you went in there, you could literally just hear a concert
Yeah.
live. Like that's insane.
Me and a few of my friends actually were listening to that, which was a little weird. I mean, there was a huge Travis Scott, like just an enormous that
It
is
reminds me when they put Thanos into the game.
yeah.
Back in
Yeah. That was
2018.
fun. I mean, that was an okay time. Uh no, they do have good ideas, and as much as, people make fun of Fortnite, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a bigger icon for a younger crowd.
Yeah, they have
Most
so many
definitely.
users. That's why these companies go to them. That's
But
why they agree
I
to these
do feel
deals.
like they're really trying to reach to like our age gap as well. Like
Yeah.
I really truly feel like they're trying to reach out and give us something to interest us.
Yeah, they're aiming for every
Um,
movie that we've seen.
yeah,
So,
because all of a sudden they got Obi-Wan in. He just came out.
yeah.
Like, his series just started.
And then last
Um,
year, Batman, he wasn't just in the game. He also had an entire comic
yeah,
series
whole
published
thing.
with DC Comics to
Absolutely.
support it, and it made, just as much money as his addition to the game
They
probably did.
got gaming legends, Master Chief from Halo's in there.
Yeah, they had a
I
whole
wasted
big
no
giant
time in
Infinity
getting that
War
actually.
type
Whole
storyline at one point.
Avengers thing. They
Yeah,
changed the entire way that the game's map operated just for the
yeah,
Avengers.
their whole universe
Yeah, and
also changed because you started seeing how each little bubble was created,
yeah,
and it's really cool because it's kind of meta
yeah,
because they were
well,
all like really upset to find out we're just being like refreshed,
yeah,
brainwashed, and amnesia into all these pocket dimensions where we're just like killing each other over
yeah,
and over and over again. It's so cool. I didn't see the conclusion of the story, obviously.
yeah.
I just saw
It's still
trailers for it.
ongoing.
So yeah, it was just like all these worlds, and they were like, oh, wow, this is what we do.
And it's actually kind of interesting how, like, most battle royales don't have a storyline going for it, really.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, PUBG does not have a storyline that I know of, at least. If I'm wrong, you know where to find us on Twitter. Go ahead, let us know. Educate me. I always like to learn new things. But it is interesting. And did you know? Uh, there is Fortnite and Marvel, like the Avengers, are in a Marvel comic. There's a Fortnite Marvel comic,
Yeah.
which you know what that means. A published comic with Fortnite in it means that the Fortnite universe and the Marvel it's canon.
Same for the DC universe, yeah.
So Marvel and DC are connected through Fortnite,
Exactly. So that could
but
be the
that means that
bridge.
they're both
That could be the bridge to bring them together for anybody who wanted to do some kind of crossover thing.
right.
That'd be
But
amazing.
that also means that alongside Marvel and DC, they're bringing in Star Wars,
Yeah.
Halo, uh, Tomb Raider,
Yeah, Tomb Raider. Yeah, all
uh,
sorts of stuff.
Gears of War
Yeah.
was brought into that. Street Fighter, uh, Marshmallow.
Yeah. You
They
can't
really
miss.
like their Marshmallow. He's Ninja Marshmallow has returned to the item shop. I'm sure. Uh, which I we started talking about Fortnite and everything that's going on with it. I got entirely sidetracked, but I'm glad we were because it reminds me. Red Dead Online actually has a battle pass.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? Because it,
How many users do they average, do you know?
I have
Roughly?
no idea. I mean, here's most of the people you're going to run into if they're random, there are one of two people that play online.
Yeah.
Those like me that really just kind of want to do their own thing and enjoy the game for what it is. And then there's the griefers, like there always will be in a Rockstar game, who get their enjoyment from repetitively killing and harassing players like me.
Yeah.
um, there's no winning. I mean, you got to be able to do both, though. Like, I'll be online with a few of my friends, and one of us will get shot by a random and his friends. And so it'll be just an all-out war between us and them until one team like leaves the lobby.
Yeah, just like
Yeah,
bails.
like, and that's kind of how you have to deal with them, because if you try to like not fight them and get away, it just makes them more mad. They'll just come at you even more.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's really interesting to see because people build whole alter egos in their characters. It's very interesting. But no, I even though it is frustrating sometimes to have that fear of like constantly looking over your shoulder for a player to just kind of appear and beat the bricks off you. Then
Yeah.
it's
You see it coming.
yeah, but the fun part is like you have just as much of a chance of beating their ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's they one of my favorite parts of the combat is the close quarters combat in the game, whether you have a weapon in hand or not. Which the unarmed and the blade fighting is probably my favorite. But yeah, no, I know I said I wanted to lightly touch on the subject and cover it later, but I'll definitely go over the story in another episode. But I didn't realize that we've talked about it for quite some time. We branched off to other things as well, but
It was almost a completely different game.
we did. We also covered Fortnite in this episode, I guess.
Yeah. There we go, guys.
There we go.
You get more than you bargained for.
You did. It was quite a deal. Quite a deal for this one.
We're only halfway done.
Yeah, we still got a good amount of time.
The good news of the day, the reason I'm celebrating, Johnny Depp officially and resoundingly won his defamation trial.
Oh,
he
it's
won
finally
on all 3 claims.
Oh gosh, finally.
It's been a long few years. And it's been 6 years since she started all this crap, and it's just finally like, now that you've realized that you've lied under oath and you could be facing perjury charges.
Yeah.
And you could be facing charges for what you did to him in Australia and what you did smuggling the dogs over there multiple times and breaking their biohazard and security laws. And the UK, if you ever go try to film something there, are they going to be looking at you for perjury because of what you lied to under oath in their courts? So it's just like, yeah, just end it, woman. Just give up. You lied so much. Just finally, for the first time in your life, just like tell the truth and just get it over with.
Well, she's obviously not going to own up to it because she's already made a statement that, by the sounds of the attitude in the post, it sounds like we might just see her back in court for it again. Because
could be, yeah. Her damages could be increased if she keeps
doesn't
going.
Control herself and what she says, she's already found guilty, which I don't quite understand how they said that Johnny also had some kind of thing to do with defamation with Waldman.
Yeah, one of Waldman's statements was defamation against her.
There was no actual proof that Johnny had anything to do with Waldman doing that.
Exactly, and here's the other thing. The jury ruled that she lied about what happened on May 21st, 2016. So that means that Waldman's version, that he told the press when they asked him for a comment, because that's what they do, they asked both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's lawyers for a comment when they were writing the story. It's a natural thing for a lawyer to do. He just gives a comment on the damn story that they have in their office. So he gave them that comment about the other facts, the ones that she wasn't able to lie about or make up or change.
All right.
He had the facts, so he said, well, she did this. And then the jury was like, wait, that's defamation. I'm like, wait, how? Because her version was completely false. You ruled on that when you gave Johnny Depp the win on all 3 of his counts.
Right.
So I'm confused as to how they arrived at one of Waldman's 3 statements being defamatory, but I'm not surprised at all that the other 2 were ruled as not defamatory. And I'm very surprised that they decided that Waldman was enough of a spokesman for Johnny Depp when Depp had never read the article. He had never approved the statement, and he never told Adam Waldman to make the statement. And there's the attorney-client privilege, so, You can't just dig into all their records to see if they ever talked about anything like that,
Right.
because you can't break attorney-client privilege for that.
Yeah, I do not think, like, yeah, you know what, that was Waldman's call to go ahead and say, you know, what he said, but for them to decide that that was defamation, I mean, I suppose maybe under a misunderstood context, it could be taken that way, which I do believe that they just kind of may have misunderstood the situation and misread it, because there could not have been a an outcome that clearly pointed that Depp had told him to say anything like that. But I don't think that she deserves the money she got.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
going to be
so.
canceled out anyway,
Because
because it's just
how
going to go right into the money he won, because he won 15 million, she won 2.
yeah.
So basically he won 13 million from
Yeah.
her. That's literally what's happening.
Well, you know what? maybe
So she won't even get a
maybe
penny of
they're
it.
just pledging that 2 million to her.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, maybe they're just gonna pledge it to her.
I did say that. I said a few days ago, I said the jury, I'm going to read the tweet verbatim actually. Let's see. Yeah, so the jury should pledge Amber Heard $100 million dollars just like she wants. She'll never ever get it, but they can use pledge and donate synonymously. And I said that Depp should get 25 million because he lost Pirate 6, but I understand that in his closing arguments, Benjamin Chu said we don't even want anything, so I understand why the jury would give him 15 instead of 25 or 26, because he wasn't really asking for the damages.
He wasn't really after the
Because I
money.
think that he still has a desire to play Jack. So I think that if he had wanted damages for the 6th one, then he would have pushed for it, but he didn't push for it because I think he suspects that he could still get it. He could still get paid for Pirate 6 because he could still get into Pirate 6 or
Right.
have a Jack Sparrow Disney Plus show or whatever he wants to do. He has the power now because he's innocent. It's proven. Bruckheimer can stop waiting with bated breath. He absolutely has every and all right. And J.K. Rowling is also vindicated in this matter because she stood by him for Fantastic Beasts until Warner Brothers got cold feet and decided to fire the abuse victim.
Well,
But
that's the thing. The Disney and Warner Brothers are not looking good right now.
they're on notice, yeah. And Warner Brothers, they're already clearing house anyway because Discovery acquired them. They're just pitching everybody. Toby Emmerich, he's gone. Ann Sarnoff, she's gone. Walter Hamada might be leaving soon, but he looks a little bit safer than the rest.
Yeah.
A lot of executives and board members of Warner Brothers are gone, and I think that's because David Zaslav and other executives at Discovery are taking over, and they're getting the reins of the company now. So it was a huge win. It's very satisfying. I've been following this case for years now, and it's a huge burden lifted off my shoulders, and everyone who honestly put any kind of thought into this or had any kind of experiences like him in a similar way, unfortunately. It's just a huge round of vindication, a lot of apologies that he's owed, and I mean, she can finally fade into obscurity and just get out of the way, because ever since 2016, she's just been constantly whining about him and attacking women who supported him, ironically. And it just got out of hand, and she wasn't getting enough attention, so she went and published the article that got her to lose $13 million now. So, but it was her mess. She could have just not perpetuated the lies longer.
Right.
She had one job, she had one thing she could do. And honestly, that was just either tell the truth or shut up. One or the other, and she did neither. She just kept digging the hole on these lies deeper and deeper, and now she can't get out of it. It's done.
Well, I mean, and what a day for them to come to this decision.
Yeah, what is June 1st, sir? What is June 1st in
Oh,
American list of important special days?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's men's awareness, right?
Not quite. It is Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day.
Ah, there we go.
Anyone
Well,
who's
in
been a
this
victim
case,
of abuse from a narcissist.
yeah.
Hell of a day to come out with this
Oh my
verdict.
gosh.
Hell of a
And
day.
what a win. Honestly, because this this is going to open so many doors for other victims of DV. It really will. And you know what? Maybe it'll inspire more, people that have gone through it to come out about
Yeah,
it,
face the
And
person who did it.
right, and it shows that you can win.
Yeah,
You're uh, it shows that it's possible to stand up and take your life back. And granted, not everybody has the resources that Johnny Depp has, but and we've seen just how big the beast that was tackled was, even with all the evidence he had stacked
yeah.
against her, and how she had little to none that was not, fake.
There were even things that had nothing to do with the case that came out about her, like her
Right.
email, her racist email,
Uh-huh.
multiple racist tweets, multiple racist texts, and that's just, before you start realizing that she broke laws in other countries like biosecurity laws, and then she defrauded Homeland Security when she wrote a letter saying that her British assistant was not making money from her because she's a friend, when actually she was being paid to be an assistant and she was illegally in the US doing that. So there was that issue.
Well, it's
Yeah, it's just she has no regard for the truth or laws
and
in
you
any
know what?
country.
And she's caught on like all of it. But even so, it's he still had to fight with all of this evidence already there for everyone to see. He still had to fight so hard
Yeah, it's because
just
of the
to
stigma.
be believed.
It's the stigma because it's not just a stigma about male being a victim. It's also the stigma about if a male and a female are in a relationship, then he must have more power. And that
Right.
makes no sense because personality types do not bow down to gender.
No.
Like,
And she
people can be abused regardless of their gender, height, age, anything.
anything. And it and throughout the court, like through the duration of the trial and everything like that, you could clearly see Amber Heard was trying to make it seem like Johnny was obsessed. But you could clearly see who the obsessed one was. I mean, she mimicked his appearance
Yeah.
through, 9/10 of the trial.
She projects way too much. And Dr. Curry's analysis was
Sorry.
100% spot on. It actually enlightened me about what
Yeah,
was going on with Amber
absolutely.
Heard's mental state that actually kind of leads her to do these things.
And you know what?
She'll
Wow.
never give in. Like, she'll never own up to the truth and face it because
Never.
it would just inflict too much damage to her narcissistic ego. And the
And she
borderline
can't
personality
accept it.
disorder is just making everything worse.
She
She
can't
already has
accept it.
anger issues, and she already has issues with staying within the bounds of reality. She has a lot of
Yeah.
fantasy stuff going
Well,
on.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. She thinks everything's like a movie or a
Yeah,
book where, you can just do things and people won't look further into it. Where, and it's amazing how Johnny's team read her like a book anyway. Because at the end of the trial, they put Johnny back on the stand because
his rebuttal,
they knew that she had to have the last word.
there would
they-
be no way that she would pass up that opportunity.
Knew that she was going to take the stand again because she could not let him have the last word.
Yeah,
She couldn't, and that's narcissistic behavior.
yeah, and she had displayed it through the whole trial too, snickering, snarking, laughing,
Fake crying
yeah,
and then
making
laughing
nasty
another minute.
glances at people.
And she stared at Johnny and the jury the entire time.
Yeah, and none
Did-
of her shit was credible.
Did Johnny look at her even once?
And
No.
he had the audio tape to prove why he wasn't looking at her. She
Exactly.
tried to claim that's because he's guilty, and he was like, no, here's an audio of me saying you never get to look at my eyes again because of just the lies and the insanity that you put me through. And then after you put me through that stuff in 2017, you try to call and text me and get me back?
Right.
Like, are you insane?
What, even
Why on
try-
earth would I ever want to go near you again? Like,
Right.
your number's blocked.
Right.
Like, we have those text messages from her to their agent at the time, Christian Carino.
Like,
She was
what-
desperately trying to get back in touch with the man. Like, who the hell tries to get back with their
Abuse it.
alleged abuser who apparently raped you with a broken giant liquor handle. Like, she would have been dead, first of
Yeah,
all. Second of all, if that had happened, why on earth would you try to get back with that person?
right.
She's just a liar, and too many people, too many men and women, and too much evidence just proved it overwhelmingly.
It's just the whole trial has been such a windy road, but mainly just the most of it that was difficult to sit through was always whenever it was Amber's team talking. Like
Elaine.
Elaine or Rottenborn, like it was just so painful. And Ben Chu really just manifested it personally for me because, he would be so over it most days. You could
Yep.
see him with elbows on the desk, like his face in his hands. And honestly, same. There were some weeks when I just had to tune out, you know what I mean, and not
Oh yeah,
listen
there were some entire
because
days that I just turned off the stream and I was
yeah,
like, you know what? Today's not the day to get upset and
yeah,
to get
like I can't
recall
listen to
memories.
them. Like I can't listen to them try to, discredit him and everything like that whenever he's trying to do something like,
Yeah, and they straight up mocked an abuse survivor. They
yeah,
mimicked his voice and they mimicked things he said. That's incredibly unprofessional. And Elaine was the least professional lawyer in the courtroom for the entire six
oh,
weeks. She was just,
Your
yeah, arguing with the
Honor.
judge, arguing with motions that had already been finalized, whining, being bitchy,
Yeah.
and just like getting nasty
What
with every
about her
single
one
witness.
expert witness, the dude who was like crazy and
Yeah, attacking all of the other witnesses and
yeah.
assuming that any person was there for 15
He
minutes
was
of fame.
very hostile. Like even toward the judge he had an attitude.
It was just a wreck for them. I think the prosecution for OJ did better, way
Yeah,
better,
yeah.
and they were way more professional than Amber Heard's defense team.
Where I'm sure she found them on a website that was like, you only pay if we win. Yeah.
I think whoever's footing her legal bill, be it Murdoch or Elon Musk or whoever,
One of them. I don't
she's
know.
definitely not paying for it herself.
No.
Be whoever it is, I think they got her discount lawyers from Wish.com because they wanted her to lose. I think it's Elon
Wish.
then. I think if Elon is the one funding them, and that's just
You
speculation.
never know.
But if he was, then I think he deserves like 0.5% of the credit for this loss of hers because she switched lawyers inexplicably, and the last team was a little more formidable.
Yeah.
The Time's Up Me Too lawyer for Harvey Weinstein, ironically, she defended Harvey Weinstein. She bailed. She said, your offices, the courthouse is too far from our offices. You know where their brand new offices are located?
Huh.
27 minutes away from Fairfax. They're actually closer to Fairfax Court than Brown Rudnick. So all of Johnny's lawyers didn't mind driving 35 minutes, but her lawyer couldn't drive 27 minutes.
Hey,
I'm
you
like,
know
that
what,
is a
though?
lie. You are just bailing on this horrible client, and I don't blame you.
They didn't want
Heard
their
is
career
horrible.
to be destroyed.
Exactly.
Like Elaine and Rottenborn are probably sulking so bad at the idea that their horrid display of trying to protect her. Well, I know it's their job. I know
Yeah.
it's their job, and I can't blame them from that aspect of it. But
But who's going to hire them after seeing how they perform that job?
exactly, just a absolute poor performance.
Honestly, I think the worst lawyer is a desperate lawyer because they have tunnel vision. They can't see the big picture. They can't see the end of the road. They just want to win this
And
one thing right
They
here
were
now, even
they
if
were
it's just one
so
objection.
aggressive,
Exactly. They were
so
desperate.
aggressive.
I could smell the desperation through the phone or the screen I was watching it on because they threw everything at the wall. And then now that it's over and they have to do some introspection, some reflection, take a look at the 2020 hindsight, who is going to hire them, especially Elaine?
Yeah, now they got to worry about future clients.
Because if they see them performing with this little amount of credibility, honesty, integrity, and professionalism, I wouldn't hire these people to defend me if I had a parking ticket dispute. I would trust the Chinese government to give me a better lawyer than Elaine Bredehoft.
If you did ask them to represent you during a parking ticket dispute, they'd be like, "Did my client park illegally? Yeah, but But he's a nice guy.
It doesn't matter if he parked illegally. It doesn't matter if he destroyed the whole block because he has the First Amendment right to do, it's
Hell,
just,
he could have had illegal firearms in that car.
and drugs. Like, that's what Roddenberry said in his closing. He said, it doesn't matter if my client cut off his finger with a chainsaw.
Or was it an axe?
An axe or whatever it was. He's like, it doesn't mean that you can't rule in favor of her. And they were just sitting there like, you serious, bro? You're not even disputing your own client's violence at this point.
It's whatever.
He literally proved Johnny Depp's opening statements, because the opening statements, they said, we're going to prove to you who the real abuser is in this courtroom. She's over there. It's Amber Heard.
Yeah.
And so the jury was like, okay, that's what they're promising to show. They showed that throughout the trial. Amber Heard's team promised to show that she uses Amica cream when they meant Arnica cream. They tried to say that she used 2017 makeup to cover 2011 to 2016 bruises. Bruises in between those years.
Yep.
They tried to say that he was nothing but a drug-fueled monster and everything.
Pictures of him sleeping.
Yeah, but all they had were pictures of him sleeping.
He's well rested.
And a stage photograph that was actually Whitney Heard's Coke.
Yeah.
Because that was her tampon applicator, inserter, whatever you call it, that she used to snort it. It's just, it's the laziest case I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
It's the lazy, like, she picked the wrong dude.
Oh, big time.
Because he has had a 40, 50 years of a spotless reputation, and one of the sweetest people in Hollywood, and one of the people who's so far removed from the usual insane, crazy person that Hollywood spits out, because he's just like a normal dude. He's born in Kentucky.
I mean, yeah.
He just wanted to play music. Nick Cage got him into acting, and it took off, so it provided him money, and it provided him, like, he was able to give that to his mom, who got sick later in life for, like, years. And then she died in 2016, right when Heard filed for divorce, because good timing there.
Yeah.
He was able to finally get money to his family in Kentucky. So of course he said, "Well, fuck it, I'll keep acting."
Yeah.
And then he had kids. So now he has something to give his kids. They'll never want for anything.
Absolutely.
In their life. So
and it's just so heartening to know that, his suffering is past him. He doesn't have to worry about the world looking at him as, a criminal anymore. He doesn't have to worry about that because it was disproven today.
Resoundingly, too, yeah.
A unanimous decision.
First won public opinion, and in this case, it wasn't a public opinion so much as public observation.
Right.
It was observation because we saw the entire thing live streamed. The United States of America allows courts to be televised for transparency, unlike some other countries.
Yeah.
And we all saw it, so it wasn't just an opinion like, oh, I like this guy better. No, it was literally public observation. They were like, oh, wow, all the evidence is on his side. He's the only one who seems to be telling the truth up there, and she's lying to our face and then trying to gaslight us and everyone around the world in real time on that stream. Right. And it didn't work. His lawyers destroyed her.
It's so relieving to know that it's over. I mean, my nerves were insane. I know yours were too whenever we were watching the verdict and everything.
Yeah, for the first time in 6 years, I had the shakes.
Just insane. I mean, it was so nerve-wracking. But you know what? Today was such a win for everybody. For all victims and survivors of DV, today is such a beautiful day and deserving of celebration.
It is. And it's also for people who didn't even suffer anything like that, but were just falsely accused of something. Yeah. This is finally, there's a little bit of, a bite back instead of it just being all bark, because, in this country, the freedom of speech, it gives people so much leeway, and it gives the media all the room that they want. They have the combination of the First Amendment and this freedom of the press standard. So that's where all these tabloids and sleaze bags come from, is because they can say whatever on earth they want, even if it's not true, and they hardly ever have to print a retraction. And if they do, the damage is done anyway because the false information is out there.
And there will always be people that believe it.
Yeah, so it's just, the media gets away with it on a minute by minute basis. Every 60 seconds, there is a fake news article
Yeah.
published somewhere.
I mean, come on. I mean,
Probably every 10 seconds. It's just abominable, and they've gotten so disgusting in recent years, especially with celebrity gossip.
boy.
So it to see a resounding 3 out of 3 complete and utter victory
Oh yeah.
to the tune of
Unanimous, too.
$15 million. So he got his divorce money back.
Yeah.
And he, I expect he's probably going to make a $3.5 million donation to the CHLA, the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles,
More
because
than likely.
Amber Heard pledged it but never donated it, despite saying under oath in multiple countries that she donated the entire amount.
And
When
then
she
saying
actually
that
pocketed
she
it.
pledged it.
Yeah.
But pledging and donating is not the same thing.
No, and
So
she's never.
more than likely, the attitude she kept about it, she either still has or has already spent the majority of it.
She's definitely spent the majority of it, because if she had a significant amount left, it would go into a better PR team and better lawyers.
Oh yeah.
She would be able to pay real lawyers to do a half decent defense to her garbage.
Right.
So she would have actually had a better chance if she had the money. The problem is she doesn't have the money. And she was sanctioned multiple times throughout the discovery process of this case because she kept trying to hide the evidence, that obviously because it went against her. And she still has never turned in the original devices that the judge ordered her to turn in.
Yeah.
She's lost so much money just paying the lawyers, just not working through COVID, just spending money. She went on a vacation with the last of the $7 million that she got from the divorce money in 2020. And then it kind of ran out, and she was just kind of living off paycheck by paycheck, doing very, very small roles on a very small show that nobody's going to hear of. It's on PBS or whatever.
Yeah.
So she's screwed. The Aquaman money's probably gone 100% into the lawyers
Oh yeah.
of this case. Just food and whatever, essentials. So yeah, she's screwed. She's probably going to declare bankruptcy. I would guarantee it.
I mean, it's to be given $2 million and have to give it away.
Yeah, she's never going to see that money.
She was given 7 and was supposed to give it away, but she can't pledge this 2.
Yeah.
She has to give it to him. I mean,
And what's insane to me is she watched herself on video in front of a jury and a judge and the entire world and everybody in the gallery. She watched herself say, "I donated the entire divorce settlement amount to these 2 charities."
in its entirety.
And then
Yeah.
attempted to gaslight people in real time who just watched her say those exact words by saying, "Oh, I said pledged." No, you literally said the word donated. And then she was like, "I use them synonymously." Like, no, you don't.
No.
You can't just go to a pizza store. Papa John's actually commented on this.
Really?
Somebody sent them a tweet and said, "Hey, Papa John's, if I pledge the amount for my pizza, do I still get it tonight?" And they said, "Yeah, no, that's not how it works." So they had some fun with it too. Everybody has, honestly. But
yeah, using pledge and donate synonymously, using Xbox and PlayStation synonymously.
yeah, they're incompatible.
Yeah, they're the
Wendy's
same.
and McDonald's,
They're
no,
the same
doesn't
thing.
work. AMC and Cinemark, no, it doesn't work. They're not the same thing. KFC and Popeyes, no.
Speaking of McDonald's, did you see that there was like this guy he came up on my TikTok, and not to entirely change the subject or
No, you're
anything, but spoke about it. Remember, me and you were talking the other week about like microplastics and everything like that.
Yeah.
There's a guy on TikTok who takes certain things like under his microscope and like breaks it down and everything like that, and shows you.
Yeah.
And good lord, the stuff that's like he broke down a chicken nugget from McDonald's.
Yeah.
And oh my god, the stuff that was in there.
Makes me scared to eat it again. Ever
Yeah,
since Supersized Me, I got scared of
can't.
McDonald's.
Yeah,
I'm about to be scared of them again.
it's oh man, and it's sad because that's the stuff that's most available and convenient to most people.
It's the most convenient restaurant in world history because it has the most locations and it's the quickest and one of the cheapest.
Yeah, and it's sad that that's the case because if you want something quick, easy, convenient, not gonna cost you an arm and a leg, you have to ingest whatever the hell they make it with. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Eating a credit card's worth of microplastics
yeah,
in a week.
and I mean it may taste good, and everything like that, but your
Feels good
body's
going
not gonna.
down.
Yeah, your body's not gonna be thanking you
It's
though.
never
I
gonna
mean,
digest that shit.
no, never. And I mean, granted, I'm talking about this right now, but I'll openly. I mean, I just had a McDonald's cheeseburger the other day.
Yeah,
Like
we just
yeah,
went
we literally just
lunch
went.
at work. We're like, let's
Yeah,
go to McDonald's.
lunch.
It's right
Yeah,
there.
we went because I mean it's
Oh Lord,
convenient.
it is.
Like,
It is.
where else are you gonna go other than like Taco Bell? Um, if you have 30 minutes, a 30-minute break, you have to leave work, drive over somewhere, grab food. I I mean,
It's
Wendy's is
tough.
pretty quick too, but
I don't trust them at all. I worked there and I don't
it's
trust them.
yeah, fast food in general is a little bit risky, but like it's sad that that's what a lot of people rely on, you know? Nowadays especially the dine-in food places are only getting more expensive, and especially the ones that actually use quality ingredients and like the stuff that your body won't hate you for. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like a good wing place. You're looking at over $20 for, 8 wings. And
exactly.
it's insane. Not everybody can live. That's like supporting a whole other tax bracket if you can eat at that place, more than twice a week without breaking the bank. But no, I would like to say that we've definitely covered a lot of importance, and the headlines and everything will be screaming Johnny's name.
I mean, he's
And
back too. He can have his life now.
absolutely.
He can write his book. He can tour music. He can finish his album and release it.
Yeah.
He can get back to Pirates if he wants to. I mean,
If
they
he
might ask him back to Grindelwald, but I doubt he would want to work with Warner Brothers again
Yeah.
that soon. But there's rumors he'll be in Beetlejuice too.
uh,
He would probably take that in a heartbeat.
maybe
Work with
yeah.
Tim Burton. Work with Michael Keaton.
Oh yeah.
Work with Winona Ryder again. So he'd probably take that in a heartbeat. I hope it's true, and I hope he also jumps into Sherlock Holmes 3 with Robert Downey Jr. I just hope he does whatever the hell he wants because he deserves
Hey
it.
man,
He's vindicated.
if they give him his alpacas,
Yeah,
just maybe.
Disney gives him 1,000,000 alpacas. He'll do it.
Yeah, maybe. He might consider it. We have to hope, because I'm gonna be honest, I miss Captain Jack.
We've needed him so damn much the past
Yeah.
couple years, and it's just been unavailable because of all the cloud of bull going on. But now that it's cleared, yeah, I'm looking forward to. Even
And
if it's the last ride, just give us one more epic thing with them.
there's one thing Disney will not tolerate, and its reputation being, messed with. And its reputation's gonna be hurt from now on.
And they're already
Because-
getting hit with the whole Florida thing.
Yeah.
So they tried to take a strange stance on that without really focusing on the actual language of the document in question.
Yeah.
And they freaked out, and then they kind of endured the wrath of the parents. So I think they're trying to be very careful now with their public policy and how loud they're going to be about that stuff, because parents are their entire ecosystem.
Right.
If the parents don't like them, Disney dies.
Mhm.
Disney goes away forever because they will just choose alternate things to give their kids, and the kids aren't the ones in charge of the wallets.
And PBS
Parents-
can't be trusted anymore because you know who's on there. So
I mean, just parents are their lifeblood. So if parents want Jack Sparrow,
if you can't
parents are going to
impress the
get Jack
parents,
Sparrow.
if you can't impress the parents, you're
Yeah.
not going to get the kids.
So they're going to be so careful with how they move forward, due to the fact that they don't want to piss off their only customers any more than they have with
Right.
what they did this year. But anyway, what kind of wrap up do you have for the games? Do you want to rate anything, or do you want to do final touches on the games you discussed?
Personally, I think we'll just move on to the rating section. I guess I'll rate Red Dead Redemption 2's 2 thumbs up. If Gang Beasts, give it at least 1 thumbs up. Just because you could still have fun. There's still an online mode. you don't really have to go without people to play with.
Yeah.
And even if you don't feel like playing online, you could still do the enemy waves mode by yourself. Granted, it's a little harder, but it's not impossible. I myself have done it. um, but yeah, and Fortnite,
Oh yeah,
Fortnite,
that one too.
the unintentional one we didn't really plan to talk about, but we ended up doing
I'll give it
almost a whole
one
section on.
unicorn up. I know
Yeah,
the unicorns are a thing in that game, so
yeah.
one unicorn up for me.
Or is it? I think it's a llama.
Llama, you're
It's a
right.
llama. It's a loot llama.
It's a llama. Sometimes it's a what do you call them?
Pinata.
Pinata.
Yeah, it's like a llama pinata.
Yeah.
I'll give it one llama.
Yep.
It gets
Agreed.
one llama because of the references to good culture and the no build mode they have now
And if it brings a
implemented.
giant crossover of something like Marvel, Star Wars,
I
Pirates of the
bet you they're gonna
Caribbean,
do something for
DC, or
Jack
anything like
Sparrow
that,
now.
if they do any of that, that will be a million alpacas.
Yeah,
That will be my new rating for it.
I'm willing to bet that they are going to do some kind of pirates thing now.
Yeah, I think a lot of Jack
Especially
Sparrow
now.
stuff is going to blow up. I
It's
think he's going to
about
be
to
in
go
video games,
insane because
shows,
people are
and
gonna
movies.
want him back.
Yeah,
I know I do. Um, no, I'm very satisfied with the things we've said and covered today.
yeah,
Intensely satisfied with the ending of the trial.
yeah. The
Yeah,
verdict was wonderful.
a
And
beautiful day to end it on. A beautiful day for all
sun is
victims,
shining
survivors.
very bright
Absolutely,
today,
it is a
figuratively
gorgeous
and literally.
day.
Yeah,
And hopefully everybody feels the same way.
yeah. Take it away.
All right,
You got any
well,
closing statements that you would like to make to the court, sir?
only that you guys can find us on Twitter. He had to change. Is it still at Gonzo Film Reviews?
Yeah, it's definitely
Okay,
the
yeah.
handle for mine is still at Reviews Gonzo. I regenerated from Rango to
Yeah.
Socrates, so
Uh,
Socrates will be the name going forward, and the name going forward will be Socrates.
Okay.
Socrates shall be the name, and the name shall be Socrates.
all right. So you know where to find him, and you can find me at Cloud1271. That's on Twitter, and let us know what you guys think, whether you agree or disagree with what we've said on this episode. How you feel about the trial being over. We'd love to hear it, and we've been following it so closely this whole time, and it just it makes my heart so happy to see the outcome and to see it being unanimous and
Yeah,
everything, and justice being served the way it should.
finally.
Finally, and at that, you guys enjoy your week, and we will see you next time on Gonzo Film Reviews.
And remember, folks, that's life.